Okay then, I think the workshop is over. We can all go home. See how simple? Not easy. Surrender, surrender, surrender. All the steps all of the steps of whichever kind we're working are leading us to four main things that the spiritual journey requires. These are requirements. Only if you don't want to suffer, if you're tired of suffering. If you like suffering, you don't have to do these. But they're the four things. The first one is surrender. The second one is acceptance. The third one is forgiveness. And the last one is gratitude. Surrender, acceptance, forgiveness, gratitude. Eventually you'll be able to jump just to those four and you don't have to go dragging through all the 12 and all the 7. You just jump right there. What am I not surrendering? What am I not accepting? Who am I not forgiving? Myself, them. And what am I not grateful for that I need to be grateful for? Christmas Eve, I laid in that hospital and I made my gratitude list. Wow, it got longer and longer and longer, including everybody that came in to bring me ice and do this and do that. Just got longer and longer and longer. And the longer it got, the happier I got laying there, I mean, you think, what am I doing in a hospital Christmas Eve, It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that, I had some painful nights, but I won't say I was grateful for the pain, but I was grateful for knowing that it would pass, That this too shall pass. This too shall pass. Okay, does anyone have any questions so far? Did you all have an experience? Okay. Any questions about these procedures so far? Did you all?
Kate?
Go ahead.
In the visualization, there was the part about pouring love from the spiritual adult.
Yes.
So, with codependency recovery, that's the kid grasping. And so with spiritual adult, it's an effortless rather than a codependent giving?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not.
Thanks.
Okay. I've been through years of code. In fact, I got a coda book sitting here with me. I'm going to read a little bit of that. The thing is there's a difference in the human being thinking it's going to be all big and puffed out and aren't I wonderful, I'm going to forgive them, they're whatever. No, it's not about that. It's about moving into the spiritual understanding that anything that came down in a sleep state, whether I was asleep or they were asleep. There's a period of time in coda where you have to learn to draw your boundaries, and that's a vital part for the kid too, of no, this is not going to work for my kid to be with these people, but we never amputate, we just simply move away. Like, it's so gentle to the American Indian saying, I walk away, is just so delicious, especially doing the coda work. When we have somebody in our face that's pushing our buttons, and our script is getting, quote, read by that person, they become like our needle. The only thing we can do is to move away or distance from the situation or person in order for us to do our own inner work. And then, after we have protected ourself or our kid from, quote, the abuse, then we can come back with the love and compassion. But then it's coming from a spiritual elevation. It's not coming from the little human being, oh, I'm going to be a big person and forgive this person. No, it's not like that. Is that a little more clear?
Oh, yes, that's wonderful. Thank you.
Uh-huh, okay. Debbie, would you speak into that mic there?
Sure. Okay, so can you guys hear me okay?
No, I don't think so. Okay, I'm going to make these kids work here for you. The mic's right there on that little table.
I can hear fine. I think I'm just muted so that I can hear.
Okay.
There, okay. No, I want these kids here to speak into the mic for you, because I remember being at the other end like you are, and how frustrating it is when you can't hear them. Okay.
Okay, so I have two questions, but maybe it's the same answer. When you talked about, the child in the playpen with the knife that's going to cut him, I'm acquainted with that, and I tried to rip it out for my kids, saying, no, we're not going to do this, it's self-will, and that lasts just for however long it lasts, and then I plunge back into a playpen full of knives. And so it's, what you said is it rang true, like having something else, something, shiny and, something else, because my kid needs something, and spiritual adult, God, love. And I know that when I go to, relationships and food and alcohol and all those, I want to go to God for those things, but like the drink and the food, it's so tangible, and this idea of God or higher power, getting that comfort, it seems it's not as tangible, and it's I want my kid to drop the things that aren't working. It's how can I get it to do that when these things are 3D? You get what I'm saying? And this is I got it. Yeah.
Okay, the question is, what could be tangible for the kid? And I agree 100%. You walk up to a playpen with a kid with a knife open, and you say, "Oh, honey, here, I have God for you." Instead, no, that's not going to work. What? You got to be kidding, So I make a list with my kid before the knife ever gets open, before I ever see the knife in the hand. We sit down and we make a list of the things that the kid, what equals nurturing to the kid, what it likes to do, and I get this long list of what it is. Mine loves to run away and go to a movie by herself and hide, Mine loves to get a mystery novel and read it because it feels decadent to be reading that rather than something spiritual. I have these little things that just pop the kid out of and on the way to where we really want to be. The other one is I love to light candles. I love to have bubble baths. I love to walk my dog. I used to love to go in pet stores and look at all the little puppies, and I let the kid tell me what it likes to do. Then when her shiny knife is open, I got this list and I pull out one of those things. Let's go to the park. Let's go see so-and-so. Let's call, and another important thing is to make a list of when you hang up the phone from talking to somebody, they've made you feel good, or you feel, they don't make you, but you feel uplifted, you feel better. So I have a list of the people that are not going to, slam me. The people, I'm not going to go anymore to the people to get, my needles and say, oh, show me I'm lovable, They can't wait to knock you down, They don't know it, but it's just the way the energy is. So I have a list of the people that make me happy, that I feel good around, makes my spirits lifted, I feel loved by. I have a list of the things that make my kid happy. Sometimes it's just Oh, she just likes to snoop. She's a real snoop, this one. Snoop in little towns. I snoop in stores. I not necessarily buying things. I just snoop. And the creative juices run with, oh, I didn't ever think of making that like that, or doing this or doing that. And she loves the colors, the lights, and like at Christmas, I'm not really a Christmas celebrator, but she loves the lights. She loves, So everyone has their own kid list of the things that make you happy, so that when you're heading for that knife blade, whatever that is for you, the man that's is going to reject you, the woman is going to reject you, the one that's not, the sponsor that's not going to give you the mommy nurturing that you want at that moment, or whoever you've decided. It's amazing how many people walk into the program and will go right to a sponsor that is going to treat them exactly the way their parents treated them. It's very interesting. I did it a couple times, so I know. But it takes a while to recognize that. But get your list handy of what makes you happy. When you get off the phone, oh wow, I feel so good now. It might just be walking down around the block. Simple things. It doesn't have to be, anything elaborate. Just making my food correct for myself makes me happy. Just the simple things, I know tactile things. I got a robe that's real soft. Things that are, it depends on the age you're dealing with. If you're dealing with an infant, it's going to require naps. It's going to require holding on to teddy bears. It's going to require nurturing that infant. And if it's, whatever age group that child is being neglected, then you find what appeals to children of that age. There was a long time in my recovery I colored. I had crayons in a coloring book and would sit and color because that's what she wanted to do. And then I got those markers and then I got those elaborate design books and used magic markers to, and things like that. And it changes. As she grows, it grows, into beading, whatever it might be. And you get that list, and that's what you have handy when that night comes out and she wants to go eat, she wants to go take drugs, she wants to go just do something stupid, not pay her bill, or whatever it might be that's going to hurt you down the line. You get that other list out, and instead of taking that away from her, you just distract her. Or him or her. You just distract. Wait a minute, I want to read that book over there. I wanted to go to the museum. I wanted to, and then I do those things. Now on the other side of that is God. God appearing as museum. God appearing as crayons. God appearing as being picked up off the floor when I fell down with the 5 gorgeous hunks, I can say that now because I'm 71. I look up and the 5 gorgeous hunks are taking me gently up off the floor, That's God. If that's not God, I refuse to live in duality anymore. I refuse to live in an area of God and not God. It is our God. It is God appearing as a mystery novel when I need to shut that brain off long enough and stop thinking about spiritual truths because I've gotten myself wound into some kind of complex something or other that's not really God. You know what I mean? It's all in the head. The story is not God. The drama is not God. It's a story, God is appearing as whatever is there, but not in a story. Yes, Francesca.
Everything that you're talking about, I've had some experience at some point, especially if I go walk the dog. It's a good distraction, physical. But I still have that moment where I have to go through being uncomfortable with taking care of myself. And I at times have walked the dog telling myself, it's okay to take care of yourself. It's okay, like parenting myself. But the distraction or the bobble especially with my immediate gratification stuff, is only, I can't avoid the pain. I still have to go through how uncomfortable it is to let go of, I guess the analogy is the knife, but whatever it is that I've been used to.
Correct.
Right?
Yes. And you see, these were survival skills,
Yeah.
and they served us at a certain time.
Right.
And they no longer serve now they're causing pain.
Mm-hmm.
It's so unfamiliar to do the opposite.
Yes.
And it's not easy, and it is painful because it's an emotional. Well, you're hold on. It hurts to do something different. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're going to be an athlete, it hurts to build those new muscles. You're building new muscles. And if you think about it, that the pain is not about getting that of ripping out the old. The pain is that you are expanding and building a new muscle that you never had before. And if you're working out at the gym, it hurts at first. You know, it's that kind of thing. And knowing that on the other side, the freedom is there, and you just keep holding that freedom up there. You know. Yeah, it hurts.
So that's been my experience.
Yeah.
Pushing through and then getting to the other side of it.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Oh, I went through pain. I spent nights in the closet doubled over in, literally in womb position, just sobbing over things that I had to take a stand on that was so foreign to my, you know, like, I mean, one extreme one was when my mother had Alzheimer's, and I was an only child, and my father and mother were so enmeshed, I couldn't have had a more perfect codependent enmeshment example for me than they were. And it's a long story about how this all unfolded, but it finally got to the point he couldn't stand to live without her, and had put her in nursing homes, and you know, she would walk right out the door, and she needed 24-hour. And one night he called me, and it was always trying to get Dulcie to come and fix my life for me, fix my marriage, make it okay, don't make me have to go. You know, there was always this Dulcie has to fix it thing. Came from them, came from me, okay? And when I had to stand, this one phone call, he called and he said, I've got a gun. And I knew he did because he was a hunter. I've got a gun. I can't stand, I took your mother out of the nursing home. I can't stand to live without her. So I'm going to shoot her, and then I'm going to shoot myself. And I stood. And I said, Dad, I really hope you don't do that. I love you very much. And I'm sure there's alternatives. I really hope you don't do that. But I love you. And I hung up the phone. Because I knew it was just one more drastic, get me over there to fix it kind of thing. And I spent the night in womb position in the closet, praying like I've never prayed before. But knowing that I couldn't go one more time. I can't tell you the calls and the stuff that preceded all of this, you know. And I had a very strong Al-Anon sponsor who helped me stand so that I wasn't selling out again my kid for the family dynamic. The family game is what I'm talking about. I could no longer participate. But was it comfortable? Oh no. I didn't know, you know, he could have done it. But you know what? I had to know that it was his decision. I have to free everyone to their own contract and to their own destiny. And it's none of my business what that is. My business is to keep my eyes on my destiny track, on my conscious contact with God, knowing the truth about who they are, whether they know it or not, And I stood, and he did not do it, but he could have. And I was willing to live with that, rather than play the game again. If it meant death's door, that's what it was going to take, because I couldn't participate one more time in what would happen to me every time I bit the pie, so. Okay, any other questions or clarifications? Anybody got any script stuff going on that they are willing to share? Anything recent that you might want to share? About busting up the old ways of doing things, and maybe even the pain around it?
This is Kate?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I have not taken the script or kid workshops, but I have the scripting kid handbook. I've been trying to identify my scripts, and I was talking to my dad just yesterday, and he's a man who, by his own admission, hates people. And I think he likes me, kind of. And in fact, I know it. I know it, but that's just kind of a flavor of the nature of the relationship. But he wanted to make the conversation short because he had an errand to do. And I told him it was fine, and I thought it was fine inside of myself. And then we hung up the phone, and I was just, I just felt, like I was crawling out of myself. Like I started to, think very angry thoughts, and, just wanted to smoke and wanted to eat sugar, and, and I was like, this must be a script event.
Perfect. So Kate, what were you hearing in the dialogue? I'm hearing what I would be hearing under that circumstance, but what was it saying to you that your kid was hearing, that because his behavior was what it was, what was your kid feeling was being told?
Everything else is more important than me.
Exactly. Bingo. There's your script. Woohoo! There's your script. Mine always came through as I don't count, I don't matter. So yours is everything's more important. And the truth is, with most of these people, it's the truth. Things that they're doing, because people are so narcissistic, if they're not on this path, what they're doing is more important than the other person, whether it be their kid, their spouse, or anything. Everyone has their own agenda. And we're selfish, self-centered individuals left to the human plane. But bingo, you got your main script. Now, what do you do with that? You got it. Everything's been more important than to my father than me, or maybe a mate or mother too. I don't know, but everything's more important than me. So what does your adult now have to do with that kid?
Give a place for attention for the child.
You got it. Okay then, how can I give you attention? What do you need from me? What would you like to do instead of hanging out with this asshole that hates people? Okay, what would you like to do? You want to go shopping? You want to go to the movie? You want to go swimming? You want to go to walk? We want to go to the beach. Where do you live, by the way, Kate? We didn't know. Where do you live?
I live in Sebastopol, California, which is about an hour north of San Francisco.
Oh, I love Sebastopol. I know it well. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
If you don't have an eating disorder, you can go downtown to that cute ice cream place.
Well, no, if I eat sugar, I can't stop obsessive thinking.
No, I don't.
But if I don't eat sugar, then I have a chance of a few seconds of non-obsessive thinking per day.
Yeah, I don't eat sugar either. That's what I said. If you don't have, but there's always the bookstore. There's always just walking down. I love Sebastopol. So okay, so you get your list together so that the next time that script comes up, you got, oh, this is what I need to do to make me feel more important than that other stuff. Now, an interesting other thing, Kate, is I find that that's a script that I also read to myself. I don't even have to have someone else. I can make other things more important. Errands, taking care of this, taking care of that, doing this, doing that, calling that person. I can make that more important than my little one that might be saying, I need a nap, or I need to, can't we go play, or can't we get outside, or, So I have to watch that I don't even need other people to read that to me. I can read it to myself sometimes. So.
Oh yeah, what I do is I realize that I treat myself the way that I was treated.
Yes. But they treated you that way because you came in this lifetime having already established that script. So that's where we take the 100% responsibility. I came in assuming I wasn't important enough, or other things were more important than me, and sure enough, we come in, we pick the exact people to agree with that, and it's hard to take when you're new to the work, but a little as you go on, you'll see that then we start fulfilling it ourselves to ourselves. So get your list of what's really important to that quote kid, or yourself, that makes your life fun and lovely and gets you closer to God. Does that help? Cool.
Very much. Thank you.
Anybody else come up with a? Go ahead, Debbie.
Okay. Well, two major glitches happened over the last 6 months.
Okay, two major glitches. Can you hear Debbie?
Can you guys hear me okay?
What?
I'll take that as a no.
You have a low voice, sweetheart. Okay. Here comes Debbie to the mic.
Hello. All right. You guys hear me?
Here, Abby.
Okay. Anyways, okay, so two major, I will never be heard, not kidding. Two major glitches.
So you speak lower.
That's actually not one of my scripts. Okay, huge meltdown, this, to the point where I felt suicidal when this happened, and I haven't felt that way, since I was 12.
Okay.
Total hopelessness. At work, I've been there 4 months. My manager, they were going to promote me to charge nurse, all this great stuff, I'm thinking's going on. And my manager pulls me aside. This is 2.5 weeks ago. She pulls me aside and says that people have been coming to her complaining about me, my coworkers, saying that that they don't like working with me because I'm not a team player and I act like I'm better than them because I'm a nurse, and I think that I'm too good to help the techs do their job in my department, and I just do my nursing things, and I act like I'm better than them, and I'm bitchy and I'm short, and so I asked my manager, what can I do to rectify this? This is honestly not how I feel. That's really not what's in my heart. I hate that I'm coming across this way. What can I do? Mm-hmm. So she told me the two main, complainers to go and speak to them, one-on-one, and then she told me some other. So I ended up having 5 one-on-one conversations with my coworkers, basically an amends. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to come off this way. What can I do to make it better? What am I doing that I shouldn't be doing? And two of the girls I spoke to really let me have it. One of the girls, she said that, I don't have any integrity and I'm bitchy and nobody likes working with me.
Yeah, that's very painful.
And the other girl said that I work in a cath lab, and cath lab community is very small. She said that she had heard things about me being a bitch before I started this job, but that people talk, and she'd heard it through the grapevine that I'm just not a good person to work with, and when I started there, she's like, I don't believe them, because, she's like, you were so friendly and enthusiastic, and little by little, like, you started just acting like you're too good to work with us and too good to help us. And so when someone acts like this, especially a nurse, we all kind of bind up with each other and decide that, we don't want the nurse, and we're trying to push you out, basically. So, the dialogue, it's just, it's kind of self-explanatory. Like, I'll never be accepted. I'll never be safe. Once people get to know me, they'll throw me away. I'll always be misunderstood. This is like, that's a really core script for me. I'm always going to be misunderstood. It's too late. That's one of the favorite tapes that my kid, it's too late. It's too late. You'll never be able to change. I'll always have this brand on me or this bad reputation. And I have to leave because I'll never be safe here. Mm-hmm. And I'll always fuck things up because something is terribly wrong with me, apparently. So, that was that script event.
Well, that is a very painful one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, what's anybody hear or see? First of all, Barbara used to tell us that when we were criticized or condemned, so to speak, the first thing we do is go within and find any of the truth. And then if we find certain things that maybe I can correct, we get very clear what they are.
Right.
And then we also understand that a lot of stuff is also projected from them out onto us.
Right.
So you need to find what is in your lap of that you can change, which it sounds like you've already done.
I've done that.
And now you have to just give them a chance to see that you've made the change, whatever it is.
And, I asked, my manager's meeting with me, I asked, can we meet once a week just to check in and,
Right.
and I go into work, I just like having sunshine, like out of my ass, like just, hi, it's like, I'm so scared, like to, and I do realize what my part is for sure. When I see that someone is not doing something the way I think they should, or they should know this about their patient, and usually I'm right, but it's one of those things where like it doesn't matter if I'm right or not. It doesn't matter if my intention is like best care for my patient. The way I'm coming off is bitchy, So I definitely tone that way down. And even if someone does something asinine, I go, "Oh, that's okay. I'll take care of it." And my manager said that she's been getting good feedback. And I checked in with those two girls last week, and I said, just wanted to check in, just keep the lines of communication open. How's everything going? And they're like, you're doing great. Like I had forgotten about it. Like, everything's fine. But still, I carry this. Obviously, I still have a lot of emotion around it. This fear, and since then, Like, I picked up the food that night, and I suddenly wanted to move back to New York that night. And I wanted to drink that night, and I wanted to screw, everything. And so since then, it's been a real struggle to keep the food down. I'll have a few days abstinent, and then because I feel so unsafe when I go into work. Like, I can't be myself, for sure. Because I think I'm doing okay, but I'm being perceived as this, I'm misunderstood.
Right.
So it's still, I don't know. I feel like my kid feels like I have to abandon her and at the door for 10, 12 hours when I'm at work. And if that, it's hard to, my kid is just in terror the whole time I'm at work, is what I'm saying. And so when I leave, I just want to self-soothe with that knife,
All right, this is fabulous ground to pull that spiritual adult up and take care of the kid. I will tell you that when my kid hated to go on the film set, hated it, and whenever I went, and Barbara taught us this too, that you take the spiritual adult to work. And I would literally, I built a nursery with a couple of nannies and Pony coming to the window and all the toys and everything, and I would bring my kid to the nursery and I would leave her there for the day, and I would say, everything you need is here, and she had all her little friends and everything she wanted to do, and I'd say, Mommy's got to go on into work now. You don't have to go, because those people are scary, the egomaniacs I worked with, you can imagine. And I would leave her there, and I would come back. But I made promises to her, like, when I come back, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. You and I, and that's how I did that.
Well, I make promises to my kids. We're going to go to a meeting. We're going to go to a movie. We're going to go to the gym. We're going to swim.
Things she loves.
I'm so physically exhausted at work, plus now emotionally and mentally from this, like, keeping everything like happy, and when I get off work, all I want to do is eat and sleep. My kid, she just wants chocolate and a cozy blanket, and it's like, I don't know how to get that energy for the kid afterwards.
Yeah, Lynn, feedback, please.
I'm a cath lab nurse, and that doesn't mean it's scripts. I'm trying to think of words. I think you should have a contact with me a lot.
A mentor.
Yeah, totally. Because I'm not saying it is a work that we've chosen. I'm not there. Scripts it's a very small, confined, judgmental, difficult, painful. I'm going to get my script read. I'm going to read yours. And there's certain boundaries. I'm not sure if that fits in with this work, but boundaries I needed to set, and also lies that I didn't grab onto and go, whoa, yeah, I'm no good. Yep, I'm no good. And I had those situations when I was young like you, and I'm not young like you anymore. But
and still a nurse.
But I find this work such a wonderful, glorifying journey. I feel your pain. I'm not saying it. But to get through this makes you become the person that, can I say, truly are? You're going to get that strength. And so our divine power has put you in the situation to become a better Debbie. And that's lovely. But I'm not glossing over that pain. I totally relate to the point where I'm like, I don't cry very much anymore, and I just wanted to, because I went through a lot of that and still do sometimes. So I think that I'm putting myself out there to be a contact for you. Yeah.
Very good. Excellent. And I just wanted to clarify too, what I was discussing was only on days that were like brand new show, new people, then I would do that. But most of the time she went and we found ways to play all around with people didn't know we were playing, kind of thing. So thank you, Debbie, for being wide open and naming it, claiming it. And there we are. I'm powerless over what other people think of me. And that's the biggest one, the kid, because the kid then knows it's going to be abandoned, it's going to be unwanted, it's going to be left behind. That's a terror script, because in past lives it's meant our death. It's a terror script. So you're hanging in there, you're doing the right thing, you're working the 12 steps, you're working the script steps, now you've got a mentor, and there we are. Thank you so much for your vulnerability. Really beautiful. Okay. Anybody in phone land want to jump in?
Hi, this is Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, I got a quick one. It actually happened while I was on script. I was with somebody that wasn't particularly happy I was doing what I was doing, and I said, I think I just need to go home, and you go do what you need to do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, because this is what I choose to do today. And the freedom of just, the little girl got scared, and I was like, what are you getting scared for? Just go do your day. It's all good. And knowing one of the things, I saw how the person tried to manipulate with, well, I'm going to go see this movie during the off time that we won't be doing script. And I said, great, I guess I'll see you tonight at dinner. and watch the reaction and not be afraid, not be in the fear of, wow. And I got to apologize. I said, I'm really sorry for being selfish. I wanted both. I wanted to do both. I wanted to do script and kid, and I want to hang out with you and have fun. But it wasn't working, and to be able to recognize that and just go, it's okay, you can miss out on one little thing, because we'll pick up at a different time. So, to identify it, to not take it personally was huge for me, because before it was like, how can I please everyone but myself? As long as everybody else is happy, who cares about Elizabeth and the little girl inside? So I've learned to identify that and just go, this just ain't working for me anymore. So I'm grateful, for the kids script. I'm glad I was listening in, and because I think it gave me the strength to go, yeah, this ain't working for me. So grateful that you're all here today, and we're doing this kid script. Thanks.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Thank you so much. One of the major questions that my sponsor gave me years ago when I was trying to make a decision about whether to do this or whether to do that, she said, always stop and say, what is going to make me feel the best about me? What behavior is going to make me feel the best about me tomorrow? And if I stand on that, it is irrelevant what anybody else thinks. Because I'm the one, that has to live with that. And what's going to make me feel the best about me? And sometimes it is so painful and so hard to stand in that line of fire. Like Debbie, I would have packed my bags and been in New York by now, and she stayed there, stood regardless, and gone, here's our 12 steps. Make direct amends wherever possible, except when to do so, would injure them. Okay, what is my part? What can I correct? And then the rest is go fuck yourself, Excuse me. Yes, Lynn.
This so resonates. It's like, what behavior is going to make me feel the best for me? Well, picking up that sugar, that gives me that momentary, but it doesn't make me feel better tomorrow.
Right.
Doing all those things, but recognizing it and then accepting that this isn't going to be the best. There's this momentary pain portion where, we may have touched on that, but it's like, I have to trust my own self. Mm-hmm. To know what's best.
Yeah, because then the other side of that is going to make you feel awful about yourself.
Yeah, totally. And it's easy to have people beat me up because I'm so used to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it is, but.
And
so I like this question.
The other point is when I'm beating myself up with substance, I am full game for everyone out there to help just join right in and pile it on. It's just a given. If I'm reading my script to myself, they're going to. They just have to. because I'm already said I'm a piece of shit and I'm not worth anything, and they come along and say, yeah, you're right, so, okay. Anything else in phone land? Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you. Anybody else? I'm pretty tired.
Hi, Dul.
Yeah, go ahead. Please. Is that Adele?
Adele?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I really related to Debbie. I had that same exact situation, and I'm not a nurse, but I was a manager, and I had a boss who came to me and reported that, and I was shocked. I had absolutely no idea what they were talking about. I mean, I did, but I really didn't. And boy, when Deb was talking about going in real cheery and all that stuff, there is no way not to eat or drink or do acting out behaviors doing that during the day, trying. And what I did that was most helpful to me was, you're a bitch is not helpful to me. I don't even understand what that means. I had to ask, like when people came into my office, I was so in my head, and because of resistance behaviors of doing more and more and more, that I wouldn't turn toward them while they were talking to me. I'd be working. And I didn't realize what it felt like on the other side of that. And I had to learn to, move my posture, to sit and look at them directly in the eyes when they were speaking. I had to learn to nod. When I'd go into the kitchen, everyone would stop talking because I never considered asking how they were or how their families were. I was so focused on work and what are you doing. I had no pictures of any other people at my desk, only awards. And so I simply was completely unaware of some of the real practical things that I was doing that were communicating a message that I didn't necessarily feel. And so it was really helpful for me to sit down. It was very hard conversation with a couple people I trusted and say, give me practical information about some of the things and how you're perceiving them. And it was so helpful because I was able to practice changing those without selling myself out with a fake smile. And oh no, I'll take care of it is not the appropriate response of a manager all the time. So selling out, I would have to anesthetize because I wasn't being true. So anyway, I felt a need to say that because I really, really related. And I have to be careful when I'm correcting not to lie. So that.
Thank you, Adele, so much. Okay, I think it's time.
Mr. Pocket says it's time.
Mr. Pockets wants to go out. He's had it. I think it's time to take our break. And, he's heading to the door. He wants to go.
That's so cute.
And time for our break, and have a nice lunch and everybody, and we'll be back at 2 o'clock Pacific time. So
3 o'clock.
2 o'clock Pacific time. And start getting your data together. I mean, start thinking about, this is your workshop, and Debbie is really going to benefit because she came clean right here in front of God and everybody. And boy, nothing works like that humility to help us bust through. So anything you want to discuss, please bring it to the table. Then this afternoon, we're also going to do a guided imagery with the kid. We did the adult, we found the adult, we're going to find the kid. And we don't know what age yours will be, but we'll find her. So Just let's take one moment right where we are, just a moment, and drop into that moment of God presence. Wow. You see how quick? Woo! Beautiful. Thank you. And I'll see you in a couple hours.